I was destined to make this video, apparently.
In the vast expanse of the internet, there's a huge issue with this version of the game and the one that came before it that I haven't seen widely discussed. Game Explain is over here pointing out gas effects of the barrel shots, and while that's important in itself, this is a huge gameplay issue.
My hope is that this video starts a conversation that just might result in the smallest chance of this game getting patched properly. But first, some background. So there I was, sitting next to my twin brother.
We've been huge fans of Donkey Kong ever since the ripe old days of the Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country Returns was a great return to form on the Wii, and I was ecstatic to experience a new take on the series. There was just one problem.
You know, guys, I'm starting to think the waggle controls are a bit of a gimmick.
Having imprecise waggle controls in a difficult game that demands precision is one of the most baffling game design decisions I've ever witnessed in my life. So imagine my joy when the game came to 3DS. Finally, I could experience the game with buttons that work reliably. There was just one problem. The game ran at half the frame rate. Actually, there were two problems, the second being a gameplay issue that completely breaks co-op. You see, in the original game, Retro devised a genius solution to a problem that plagues a lot of multiplayer platformers. In every Mario platformer, if player 1 lands on an enemy, that enemy dies and ceases to exist on frame 1. That means that if player 2 was about to land on that enemy as well, they lose their momentum or often die. While this adds to the general comedy of playing Mario games in multiplayer, it's something that feels archaic and kind of unnecessary. Donkey Kong fixed this. When DK lands on an enemy, Diddy has about 25 frames to land on that same enemy while they are stunned. And, vice versa, of course. For some reason, when they ported the game to 3DS, this brilliant feature was gone. All of a sudden, co-op was kind of a chore, with us needing to conserve platforming resources between each other. At the time, I put up with it. Anything to get away from those waggle controls.
Besides, I'm sure there's some valid technical reason. I mean, look at the rest of the game. It runs at half the frame rate, they cut a lot of visual effects, so they had to make a lot of compromises.
Now imagine my joy when they bring the Returns experience to 1080p with button controls and the extra 3DS stages running at a crisp 60 frames per second. I mean, sure, the $60 price tag is preposterous, but aren't we all kind of used to being ripped off a little bit as Nintendo fans? Besides, this is one of my favorite games of all time, design-wise, and I want a real way to play it.
So I clear my schedule, get my brother Matthew over here, and get ready to experience one of our favorite Wii adventures together again. About a minute in, though.
We gotta try... Oh no! It's the 3DS version!
Instantly, all the oxygen and excitement I had for this game was sucked out of me and replaced with a sense of dread. I know a lot of you won't experience the game in co-op anytime soon, but let me illustrate just how big a difference this makes in the overall game experience.
Enter Platform Panic, one of the more difficult unlockable levels. This journey has you trampolining off the heads of tikis to make it across long gaps. This level makes great use of the bouncing and chain mechanics. The mix of banana coin collection and extra challenge makes this stage really memorable. Let's look at how the stage originally worked in co-op on the Wii version. It's beautiful, like synchronized swimming. This is some of the most tense fun I've had in a co-op platformer. We have to work together to make it through, and we can do that thanks to the way the original works. Let's check the HD version and see how it works on there.
I rest my case, but I still don't understand how we got here.
I assumed on the 3DS it was a technical limitation having to do with draw distance, frame rate, or something like that, but there's no reason why it can't exist here. It's not like this game got a massive visual overhaul. Was this game a port of the 3DS version of Returns rather than the original Wii? Is this a bug they couldn't squash, or a feature that they didn't think was important? Whatever the case, it takes the co-op experience down a million pegs. I'm not the first person to tell you this game is challenging. There are so many jumps, secrets, and challenges that just don't work because of this oversight. I didn't expect a whole lot from this game, and that was fine. Bringing one of the Wii's best games into HD resolution without waggle controls, and extra levels was enough to warrant another purchase and playthrough for me. Despite some of the frame rate dips and lack of visual flair, I'm ready to jump back into this game as soon as they fix it.
That is assuming that they care to fix it. I'm hoping somewhere in all of this, Nintendo support or Forever Entertainment can be contacted and compelled to make some sort of patch to make the game right, but, you know, I'm not gonna hold my breath. In the meantime, let's check out that new Mario Kart game everybody's talking about. I heard there's like 24 racers and... Oh, what did they do to Donkey Kong?